When we return.
Now please welcome Emmy winners Debbie Morgan and Darnell Williams.
Debbie, you look absolutely radiant tonight.
Thank you, Darnell. It's good to have you back.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be back. Here are the nominees for Outstanding Children's Special.
A Child Betrayed, the Calvin Myers story. A young boy abused by his parish priest struggles with his faith in God and the church.
Forgiveness.
Is that what God wants?
I think that is what God wants very much. God needs us both. He needs me to serve his people, and he needs you to help me.
Love in the Dark Ages. A portrait of two high school seniors who must learn the risks of true human intimacy when one infects the other with a sexually transmitted disease.
Is your mother trying to break us up, or did somebody turn you against me?
Yeah. He gave me chlamydia when we made love. Do you know what that is? I don't ever want to see you again.
Nick News Special Edition, Space Shuttle Phone Home, gave kids from all across America the opportunity to talk live to the crew of the Space Shuttle Columbia.
The washcloth around it so the water doesn't escape because it would go everywhere. All of us are just really looking forward to getting home and just standing under a hot shower.
Power, the Eddie Matos story, follows a young man in East New York who made all the wrong choices in life, including the fateful decision to deal drugs.
And I was bringing in $1,500 a week.
Guess I wasn't so smart after all. Wish I had figured that out a little sooner.
The Writing on the Wall reveals three teenagers whose lives are dramatically altered when they are caught defacing a Jewish temple with anti-Semitic graffiti.
These officers would like to speak with you outside.
I don't hate Jewish people, Mom. I don't.
I am prepared to send you to a juvenile correctional facility for a maximum of 2 years.
Your Honor, I agree with Mr. Goldberg and this gentleman who proudly proclaims his son's ignorance. These boys need to be taught a lesson, but not in jail, but in the very synagogue they defaced.
And the Emmy goes to A Child Betrayed, the Calvin Myers story. Life story, families, and crisis.
Speaking for A Child Betrayed, the Calvin Myers story, is producer Frank Dolger.
Thanks, of course, to Carol Rosen and Sheila Nimmons of HBO for this remarkable series they initiated and guided through. Also a nod to our competitors, Nickelodeon, the great work they do, and for CBS, and Judy Price particularly, who year after year does extraordinary shows that we should all be proud of. Thank you, everybody, very much.
Well, it was quite the busy year in Port Charles, where General Hospital is located. Let's watch some highlights now from our third nominated Outstanding Daytime Drama. This year's Lifetime Achievement Award for extraordinary contributions to daytime goes to two people who exemplify the word extraordinary. Together, they gave us a daring and most enduring drama, Days of Our Lives. They are, of course, the late Ted and Betty Corday. Ted and Betty Corday met in New York in the early 30s. He was working on Broadway and she was an aspiring young actress. Then, in 1942, while Ted was working as a director in radio, he and Betty were married. That very day, he was inducted into the armed forces. During the war, Betty got her first taste of soap opera life when she worked on Young Dr. Malone and Pepper Young's Family. After the war, Ted returned to radio, and Betty turned to the role of housewife and mother of 2 children. In the late 40s, Ted directed such classic nighttime radio adventures as Gangbusters and The Shadow. But in 1949, his life changed forever when he became the director of a 15-minute radio soap opera called The Guiding Light.
The Guiding Light.
Bill Brower, do you realize what time it is?
And in 1952, while Guiding Light was still on radio, it also became one of the first soap operas to make the transition to television. And Ted Corday became soap opera's premier television director.
He'll cry for a few nights, but not because he's hungry, Bill, because he wants a little attention.
A little attention?
No, we're not going to spoil it.
Children, children, really, you come and play chess, and you better go already. Go.
I'm going, Papa Bauer.
Ted stayed with Guiding Light until 1956 when he helped launch another television drama, As the World Turns.
Oh, now, the apple can wait.
It's beginning to turn brown.
Now, look, I'll get you another one when we're through, darling. Now, just move around like this. You're going to get everything all tangled up.
All right, honey, all right.
One day, sitting on the front porch of his Southampton home, he, Betty, and the legendary soap opera writer Erna Phillips conceived a new show that would revolve around a family living in the rural Midwest. For the first time, a Hollywood leading man was cast in the main role, rather than a Broadway actor. It was Betty who suggested the idea to call it Days of Our Lives. Days of Our Lives premiered on NBC in 1965 and was the first soap opera to air in color.
The following program is brought to you in living color.
Do you know what we'd do if we were rich and crazy?
What?
Go on an ocean cruise, just the 2 of us.
Without the children?
Darling, you're hopeless. What children?
The following February, Ted brought on one of his favorite writers, a man who went on to become one of the giants in daytime drama, Bill Bell.
I knew Betty and Ted very well. Ted, a superb producer and director whose unique rapport and sensitivity with actors is legendary. His ability to extract every ounce of drama and emotion from the written word was a writer's dream. Betty, partner of Ted, the deeply dedicated mother, the writer, the producer, a very powerful force in her own right. Betty and Ted, I will never forget you, not ever in all the days of my life.
Sadly, 8 months into the run of the show, Ted Corday died. Before he died, he asked his wife, Betty, to take over the show. Under 22 years of Betty Corday's leadership, Days of Our Lives won numerous Emmys, including the Emmy for Best Daytime Drama. And we're still going strong in our 30th year. Now, to make this very special presentation, an actress who's been with the show since the very beginning in the role of Alice Horton. And she is still an inspiration to us every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for Frances Reed.
We're late. You better sit down or Dick Clark's going to have a fit. But this is really such a great joy for me. I met Ted and Betty about 50 years ago. That's true. I'm not exaggerating. It was about 50 years ago and over. And I knew them when they first started in television. At that time, it was very popular to look down on television. It was very fashionable. But Ted and Betty never looked down. They did their best every single minute to get the best scripts, the best production value, and the best actors, if you'll pardon my... But they were a two-man vanguard for this industry that we are celebrating today. And now, to accept the Lifetime Award achievement on behalf of his parents, please welcome the man who is carrying on their legacy, their son, the executive producer of Days of Our Lives, Ken Corday. Where are you, Ken? It is with many loving memories that I salute your parents, your mother and your father.
Thank you, Francis. An emotional time for me and for all of us. My mother and father's achievement honors all of us here. Their legend will be carried on in our dreams and, of course, every day at noon or 1 o'clock, depending on where you are in this country. Most of all, I'd like to tell you what they were like as people, because they were wonderful parents to me and to my brother. They were wonderfully gentle people, what my generation calls the World War II people. They did because they wanted to, they gave without asking, and it's that value that they instilled in all of us. Their lessons were really simple. You're only as good as your last show, and your show is really only as good as its story and its cast. And above all else, we have to love what we do. We do it 260 times a year. We have to love this business, and most of all, we really have to love one another to remain resilient. They certainly loved one another, and they love this business, and I thank the Academy for this award. Thank you very much.
Earlier, Emmys for costume design went to Adventures in Wonderland and General Hospital. Next, Oprah Winfrey presents Outstanding Drama Series on the 22nd